Now, for people who don't know about dreidels and coins, talk to us about what the traditions for Hanukkah are and what the symbolism is. It's a beautiful story.
The most important idea of Hanukkah is the menorah, the candelabra. Here's a nice picture of the menorah. Can you see that?
I think we're kind of far
We're
from the
far.
camera. But
It's okay.
I think most people know what a menorah is.
Yeah, we know what a
You
menorah
should
is.
know what a menorah
By now,
is.
and you should see
I should have
them
brought one.
in public. There are many big menorahs. One of the largest menorahs is the Capitol menorah in front of the White House. And the menorah is about lighting the candles, but bringing the light to the world. You know, and while there's a physical menorah, each of us ought to look at ourselves as a menorah. There's a lot of darkness in this world. But you know, with one candle, we take away a lot of darkness. And each of us has the idea of a menorah inside us. And we should know that we have an intrinsic value. We each have a soul that is an extension of God's infinite power that can do so much. And we have to look at ourselves that way. And we have to not just keep it to ourselves, but share it with the world. Be a light to the world. And the message of Hanukkah was that they tried to stop this whole tradition of lighting the menorah in the temple. And the Maccabees were successful on overthrowing the regime that tried to oppress the religious freedoms of the time. And the symbol was the menorah, because they even took away all the kosher oil to be able to light the menorah, and miraculously they found one jug of oil that was kosher, and it lasted, instead of for 1 day, for 8 days. But really the idea is that they prevailed. They were able to go ahead and light that menorah. And that's the way we have to look at ourselves, that there's so many obstacles in our life. There's so many headaches. And especially, you know, people on the spectrum, just starting the day is a headache.
Yeah.
There's just so much that we have to deal with.
Yeah.
But we have to say, no, I'm not going to get trapped by those ideas, because I am a menorah. Yeah. I need to light this world, and I need to do something. I have a role to play. I have something to do. I have a job to do. And it's so important and so needed. And so once a year, we take this whole week and we light the menorah every day, because it reminds us that the whole year we ought to keep lighting the menorah.
Right. Love that.
And we add a candle every night. Because in life, when we're alive, we're always growing. We're going from strength to strength. We're not just staying the same as we were yesterday. We're increasing. We're sharing another light.
And I love this story because, and I relate to it so much as an autism parent, because, and I know you guys know this too, when you're an autism parent and they say, okay, you know, this is what you have to do, and this is what you have to overcome, and this is how much money you have, there is no way the math adds up, ever.
Never adds up.
It could never. And I remember on the first day somebody saying to me, okay, so this is what you have to do, and it's going to cost you this, and it's going to do all this. And if I had made the decision to listen to the equation of what it was going to take, I would have laid down and stopped and never done anything.
Sure.
But we decided to go ahead and do what we could. And my husband and I always marvel when we look back and go, how on earth did we do what we did? The math does not add up.
Autism parents are the greatest improvisers in the world.
You know, and that sense of, you know, I think of that as, you know, the oil, how long it lasted, it should not have. It couldn't.
Right.
It couldn't. And the miracle of that, and the miracle that, you know, the miracles that abound in our lives when we put forth the energy and, as you said, and be the light, what can happen?
Absolutely. Because if you give in to your darkness, your kids feel that. It's our responsibility, you know, to say, this is what we have, and how can we bring light to the children? Because they feel, when you let the darkness, you know, creep in, they feel it. You know, you have to be strong. It's different with the mother. You have to do this for your children. And an autism mother, there's nothing like anything. I mean, that's the true
You don't
word.
want to get in a knife fight with us.
No, you don't. So
There's an amazing formula from the Kabbalah that you inspire me to think about, and that is, the Kabbalah says a very simple but powerful statement. How can I make it happen? You know, how can I sustain myself with all these trials and tribulations? And the Kabbalah says, you know, think about this. The miracle of life. If God could create life, God can surely sustain life. And if so we have to remind ourselves that if we are alive and our child is alive, somehow we're going to figure it out and we're going to go forward. Of course, it's easy to say, but then there's the details. Yeah. But it starts with that firm faith that if I'm here, I'm going to be okay. It's going to happen, you know?
So tell us a little bit about, so that's what the basis of it all is, and I think it's important to know all that. But then there are the traditions and the things that the kids participate in, and the dreidels and the coins. So for our viewers that have no idea what you do with a dreidel and what you do with a coin, tell us so that they can maybe participate with their children.
Okay, so since we're going to have to imagine the dreidel, but one of the things you do with a dreidel, oh my gosh, and I was spinning it before. Oh, I got it. Sure, I got it right. Hold on, you got it? There you go. We spin the dreidel. Now, you got to Google dreidel. You'll see a whole bunch of pictures of the dreidel. The dreidel was a secret formula of how they taught the Jewish alphabet through a game. Okay. Isn't that amazing? Thousands of years ago, they figured out the best way to teach kids sometimes is through a game.
It was an early
So here we are today, right? Yeah. So here we are. And here we are today. We know that to be true with the billions and billions of dollars worth of app money going into the technology of creating games. And we know most of the kids now are not on the news every afternoon, and they're on their games. But so there was this game that they created, but the reason why they created the game was not only to teach the kids, but was also because it was meant to secretly teach, because they were being oppressed and not allowed to teach. So there was a game where you spin the dreidel, and they had coins there, and it was kind of like this game where you win more, you lose, depending on which letter it landed on. So that created the tradition of playing the dreidel and having the coins. And now we've commercialized it, as we do wonderfully in the United States of America. We created chocolate coins, coins, and
so they're edible and gone.
An absolute tradition. You must have the chocolate coins.
Right.
And we eat oily food, so to speak.
Yes,
like
the latkes.
Well, that's why I came here.
You were going to get latkes?
Zuchi was bringing latkes.
Latkes and donuts. So latkes latkes and donuts were two traditions all about the oil, like Nava was mentioning, because of the miracle of the oil. Wonderful. So like in different countries, so like in Eastern Europe, it's all about potatoes. So they had these potato pancakes that they would fry in oil. And then in a lot of the other regions in the Middle East and so on, they would create these donuts, which is called sufganiyot. Now we have them both, right? So and they're all, of course, calorie free.
Yeah.
Yes.